My own brother had an affair with my wife and got her pregnant. The two of them assumed I'd take care of their child like she was mine and eventually give them access to my inheritance. But instead, I revealed the whole truth during a family gathering and walked away, leaving them with nothing and nowhere to stay. I need to get this off my chest before I go crazy. 2 weeks ago, my whole life fell apart, and now I'm planning something that will ruin two people I once cared about. I don't care if this makes me the bad guy. I'm 32, built my construction business from scratch, and started laying concrete at 18. Now I oversee teams in 3 states. My younger brother Kyle, 28, always messed up. While I was working hard on job sites, he was dropping out of college and getting fired from retail jobs, always making excuses. But he's family, right? So, when he needed a place to stay for a bit 3 years ago, I let him move into my guest house for free. I even gave him a job managing inventory that he could handle while hungover. I met my wife Monica 6 years ago. She was bartending to pay off student loans. I fell for her hard. She was beautiful, funny, and seemed to appreciate that I worked for everything I had. We married a year later and have a 4-year-old son and what I believed was my 2-year-old daughter. Here's where it gets dark. 2 weeks ago, I came home early from a site visit. Monica's car was in the driveway, but the house was quiet. I assumed she was napping with our daughter. I grabbed a beer and went to my office to review blueprints. That's when I heard her talking on the phone in our bedroom. The door was slightly open. I know, baby. Just a little longer. No, he doesn't suspect anything. The reunion is next month. Once he announces the inheritance split, we'll push for power of attorney for the baby's trust. Yes, I'm sure. He already said he's thinking about it. My heart sank. Then I heard her laugh, the special laugh she used to give me. Kyle, stop it. You know I can't leave him yet. We need that money first. Of course I love you. Haven't I shown that every time he works late? I stood frozen. My brother. My own brother. She looks just like you. Same eyes. Sometimes I worry he'll notice. No, he's too trusting. Thinks she just takes after my side. I backed away, got to my truck, and drove aimlessly. I ended up at a bar 2 towns over, nursing whiskey and processing what I had heard. My daughter, the inheritance, called Monica. How long had this been going on? Our grandfather passed away last year and left Kyle and me an estate to share, worth $2.4 million in property and investments. I had mentioned putting my half in trust for the kids and maybe letting Kyle have some control since he was getting his life together. That night, I acted normal. Monica greeted me with a kiss and asked about my day. I watched her lie to me. I watched Kyle come over for dinner like he had hundreds of times before, playing with my daughter, his daughter. The next day, I paid cash for a DNA test, a rush job. 5 days later, the results confirmed it. 0% probability of paternity. But I didn't confront them. No, they wanted to play games, so I would show them how to play. I hired a private investigator, a good one, an ex-cop specializing in infidelity. I told him I needed everything: timeline, photos, communications. Money was no object. I also called my lawyer and started moving assets, restructuring the business. Everything legal and secure. The investigator delivered. They had been together since before my wedding. He had photos from a motel 2 days before Monica walked down the aisle. Text records went back years. Her telling him she loved him while wearing the ring I bought. Him bragging to friends about being with my wife. The friends texted back, "Bro, that's messed up." Kyle's response, "He's too __, to do anything even if he finds out." They planned the whole thing. Monica would marry me for stability, have Kyle's kid. Then they'd use the baby to manipulate me into giving them access to my inheritance. After that, divorce, take half my business, and live off what they stole. The family reunion is in 3 weeks. Every year, we rent a hall and gather about 60 people. I already told everyone I had a big announcement about the inheritance. Monica and Kyle think they've won. She's been extra sweet lately, probably dreaming about that money. Kyle's been calling me bro more, talking about family. They have no idea what's coming. I have everything ready. The investigators' report, the DNA results, the timeline, their texts, hotel receipts, everything. My lawyer says my assets are protected. The divorce papers are ready. The custody arrangement for my son, my real son, is set. At the reunion, I'm going to stand up, propose a toast about family and trust, thank everyone for coming, and then I'm going to destroy their entire world in front of everyone they know. Kyle thinks I'm too __, to do anything. We'll see who's __. when he's picking his teeth off the floor, because that's what's going to happen when my father finds out his golden boy got his other son's wife pregnant. I'm done being the nice guy. Done being the provider for leeches. They want to see what happens when you corner a man who built his life from the ground up. They're about to find out. I'll update after the reunion if I'm not in jail. Update 1. 1 week before the reunion. Things have escalated since my last post. Some of you suggested I should just divorce and move on. Forget that. You don't understand. This isn't just about cheating. They tried to take my life, my legacy, my grandfather's money. They made me raise another man's child while plotting to rob me. That's not something you just walk away from. This week has been interesting. I've continued to play the fool, and they've become careless. Monica asked me yesterday about setting up college funds, specifically mentioning how helpful Kyle has been with the kids and suggesting we include him in financial planning since he's finally matured. I agreed and told her I'd been thinking the same thing. You should have seen her eyes light up, probably already spending that money in her mind. Kyle's been over every day this week, sitting on my couch, drinking my beer, eating my food, knowing he's been with my wife. Yesterday, he had the audacity to give me investment advice about the inheritance, saying I should sell some properties and put cash in accessible accounts for emergencies. Yeah, emergencies like funding his worthless life. The investigator found more dirt. They have a joint bank account, a small one, but it exists. She's been depositing cash there for 2 years. Guess where that money came from? The grocery money I gave her? The emergency fund for household expenses. They've saved almost $30,000 of my money. My lawyer is impressed with the evidence and says it's the cleanest case he's seen. Infidelity, fraud, paternity fraud. The judge won't even blink. Full custody of my son is basically guaranteed. Monica won't get anything in the divorce thanks to the prenup she signed. She thought she was clever asking for a small change to one clause, but didn't realize it actually strengthened my position. Here's the kicker. I found out why they picked the reunion for their plan. Monica's pregnant again. Guess who the father is? She was planning to announce it right after I announced the inheritance split, using the growing family angle to demand more money. I know because she's been throwing up every morning trying to hide it. I found the pregnancy test in her car. She probably planned to give some tearful speech about family supporting family. Well, she'll get her announcement. My cousin's a tech guy and helped me set up the presentation. A full slideshow, HD photos, text messages in giant font, DNA results with a big 0% highlighted, hotel receipts with dates. The works, all loaded on a USB ready to go. The reunion is at a hotel ballroom with a big projector screen for the family photo slideshow that runs every year. This year is going to be different. My dad, excited about my big announcement, said he's proud of how I'm handling the inheritance and looking out for everyone. He's about to find out exactly what his favorite son has been up to. Dad's old school Italian and still carries a leather sap in his jacket. Kyle's about to learn why you don't mess with family. Monica tried to initiate intimacy last night for the first time in months, probably figuring she should secure me before the announcement. I told her I had a headache. The look of confusion on her face was priceless. 3 more days. 3 more days of pretending. 3 more days of watching them smirk behind my back. They think they're wolves and I'm a sheep. They're about to learn I'm the butcher. Update 2. The reunion. It's over. I'm sitting in my truck in the hotel parking lot, hands steady as a rock. Security just escorted several people out. I need to write this while it's fresh. I got there early and told the AV guy I had a special presentation for my announcement. I slipped him $200 to ensure no one could stop it once it started. He set it up on a remote trigger I kept in my pocket. The hall filled up. My parents were at the front table. Kyle was sitting there in a new suit. Wonder who paid for that. Monica was next to me in a dress I bought. My son was with my parents, and my daughter was with Monica's mom. Good. The kids didn't need to see what was coming. Dinner went normally, with people asking about the business and congratulating me on the new contracts. Kyle kept grinning at me, raising his beer. Monica kept touching my arm, playing the loving wife. Then the speeches began. My uncle talked about family values, and my aunt cried about how proud Grandpa would be. Perfect setup. I stood up and tapped my glass. The room quieted. Family. That's why we gather here every year. Trust, loyalty, blood. Nods all around. Monica squeezed my hand. Grandpa left us more than money. He left us a legacy. A reminder that family takes care of family. My dad was beaming. Kyle raised his glass. which is why what I'm about to show you breaks my heart. Click. The presentation started. The first slide, betrayal. The room shifted. Confused murmurs. Monica's hand tightened. The second slide, Kyle and Monica at the motel, 2 days before our wedding. Clear as day, timestamp visible. Gasps. My mother's face turned white. Monica tried to stand, but I put my hand on her shoulder and pushed her down firmly. Sit. You're going to want to see this third slide. Text conversation. Monica, just a few more years, baby. Kyle, I hate watching him touch you. Monica, think about the money. Our future. My father stood up, and I've never seen that look on his face. The fourth slide, the DNA test result, 0% in bright red. My mother screamed, actually screamed. The fifth slide, more texts. Kyle, he's too __ to do anything, even if he finds out. Kyle can't wait till we take his money and bounce. Monica, the baby makes it perfect. He'll give us anything. That's when my father moved. At 68 years old, with a bad hip, it didn't matter. He crossed that room like he was 20. Kyle saw him coming and tried to stand. The slap echoed. No, not a slap, a full closed fist to the side of Kyle's head. Kyle went down, taking 2 chairs with him. My house, Dad roared. You brought this into my house. The room exploded. Monica's dad lunged for Kyle. My cousins held him back while women screamed. Monica tried to run, but security blocked the doors. I'd warned them there might be disturbances. I kept clicking through the slides, financial records, more photos, the timeline showing they'd been together before she ever met me, her pregnancy test from last week with Kyle's texts about doing it right this time. Monica turned to me, tears streaming down her face, and started her speech. Sorry, mistake, counseling, think of the children. I pulled out the divorce papers and dropped them in front of her. You have 1 hour to get your things out of my house. Whatever doesn't fit in your car gets burned. Kyle tried to get up, but 3 of my cousins strongly suggested he stay down. My mother walked over, looked at Monica and then Kyle, and spat on both of them. My mother goes to church every Sunday and never says a bad word about anyone. She spit on them. You're dead to this family, she said. Then louder to the room. Both of them are dead. Anyone who talks to them is dead too. My lawyer had invited him as a +1 and stepped up, handing Kyle a document. Mr. Russo's will has been amended. You get nothing. Any attempt to contest will result in criminal charges for fraud. Monica's parents approached me. Her father, tears in his eyes, hugged me and told me I was still family, still his son. They'd take care of the kids whenever I needed. The best part? My cousin was live streaming to family members who couldn't make it. Kyle and Monica's humiliation was broadcasted to relatives in 5 states. The family WhatsApp group exploded. By the time security finally escorted them out, everyone knew. I finished the rest of my speech, announcing I was donating $100,000 to a charity for victims of paternity fraud in Kyle and Monica's names, and then another $50,000 to a local single-father support group, also in their names, tax-deductible humiliation. It's been 3 hours. Monica's blown up my phone, 47 missed calls. I'm about to head home to make sure she's out. I already changed the locks this morning. Security cameras are on. My son is staying with my parents tonight. Tomorrow, we start our new life without the leeches. Final update. 6 months later. I figured I owed you all a final update. Life is good, really good. The divorce was finalized 2 months ago, the cleanest split my lawyer has ever seen. Monica got exactly what she deserved. Nothing. She tried to claim emotional abuse, saying the reunion was orchestrated violence. The judge looked at the evidence and asked her one question. Is this your signature on the prenup? That was that. She tried for custody of my son, but it lasted about 5 minutes before the judge shut it down. Paternity fraud, financial fraud, infidelity. She's lucky she didn't end up in jail. She gets supervised visitation every other weekend, but shows up maybe half the time. As for Kyle, where do I start? He tried to contest the will for about a week until my lawyer sent him the full investigator report. Turns out there's enough evidence for criminal fraud charges. He backed off quickly after that. They're still together, which is amusing. Living in a rundown apartment 2 hours away. Kyle's working at a warehouse and Monica's waitressing. Guess true love doesn't pay the bills. Her parents cut her off completely. As for his parents, well, Dad still won't say his name, and Mom burned all his photos. The family business is booming. It turns out when you're not supporting dead weight, profit margins improve. I landed 3 major contracts and hired 20 new guys. My foreman says I seem lighter. No kidding. I dropped 200 pounds of cheating trash. I met someone new. I'm not rushing anything, but she's solid. She owns her own business, has her own money, and her own life. The first thing she said when I told her my story was, "Good. Weak men tolerate disrespect." She might be a keeper. My son is thriving, started kindergarten, and is at the top of his class. He doesn't ask about Monica much. Kids adapt. As for the daughter, that's complicated. It's not her fault. Her parents are trash. Monica's parents bring her by sometimes. I'm not her father, but I was her dad for 2 years. We're figuring it out. I set up a small trust for her. Not my responsibility, but it's not her fault either. Regarding the inheritance, I invested most of it and bought some rental properties, expanding the business. Everything Kyle thought he'd steal is making me more money. The charity donations in their names still get thank you letters addressed to them, and I forward every single one. Last I heard, Monica's pregnant again, obviously by Kyle. Guess they're building that family they wanted with his $1.15 per hour in tips. Good luck with that. The best revenge? I don't think about them anymore. Months go by without them crossing my mind. They wanted to be important enough to destroy me. Instead, they're just a footnote, a reminder of what happens when you mistake kindness for weakness. To anyone reading this who's in a similar situation, document everything. Protect yourself. Don't tolerate disrespect. And when the time comes, don't hesitate. Burn it all down and build something better from the ashes. I did. And to those asking why I waited instead of confronting them immediately, have you ever built something with your hands? It takes time, patience, and precision. You measure twice and cut once. Rush the job, and you mess up the results. To those saying violence is wrong, I didn't touch anyone. I can't control what a betrayed father does to his son. Don't want to get hit? Don't mess with your brother's wife. And to those calling it fake, I don't care what you believe. I lived it. And to the guy who asked for the investigator's contact, check your inbox. Good luck, brother. Thank you so much for watching until the end. If you really liked our videos, please don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. Have a great day.